Bring to us your poetry.
From inspiration sought.
Come join us with your images.
Your verses, words, and thought.
From here we'll share your balladry.
With those who do not know it,
this platform's here for you to show
the world that you're the poet.
Welcome to episode 60 of You're the Poet, the poetry podcast featuring you. I'm host Matt Burgio, and I'm here with co-host Phil Burgio. Phil, welcome.
Happy to be here.
Here at You're the Poet, our purpose is to share our love of poetry with the world and invite you to do the same. We want to start by saying thank you to all of our listeners who have made You're the Poet possible. We hope you enjoy the podcast and the poetry that is shared here. If you've written any poetry and you want to share it here, whether you just have an interest in poetry, consider yourself an amateur poet, or are a professional poet with published works, contact us to be a guest on a future episode. This episode of You're the Poet is our Around the Table 4, where we've invited back past guests for a round-the-table discussion and a sharing of poetry. To start things off, we're going to do some introductions. First of all, welcome back, everybody, to You're the Poet. I'm co-host Matt Burgio here in Ohio.
I'm Phil Burgio, co-host in Ohio.
I'm Loris Loren from the northeast of England. I'm from episode 48 of You're the Poet and featured on the UK special of the Around the Table edition.
I'm Dreamweaver. I'm from Warwickshire in the UK, and I was on episode 51 of You're the Poet, and this is the first time being around the table.
Hi, I'm Tara Hicks from episode 52 of You're the Poet. I'm coming to you out of Oregon in the USA, and this is my first roundtable.
Hi guys, I'm Mr. Lights. I'm from episode 53 of You're the Poet, and this is also my first time around the table.
Hi, I'm Indra Iyer from episode 57. This is also my first time around the table.
All right, well, welcome, everybody. These are a great opportunity to get to know some other poets and get your poetry heard by some other poets and hopefully get some good comments. All right, we're here to hear some poetry, so let's get started with that. Phil, we'll start with you. You're the poet. Show us what you've got.
Yeah, this is a trilogy that was written between 1975 and 1977. It's a tribute to three of my pets that crossed over the rainbow. First one is Shawn. Gentle power, loving friend, misunderstood by many. They saw you as a great white beast, a frightening, vicious terror, our guardian, our protector. You did perhaps too good a job. For this you've been unloved by some, but not by us. For this you'll always be here in our heart, in our minds. Gentle power, loving friend. Smootch. Smootch, you were an all right cat, the Incredible Hulk. Tough guy on the block, aloof, arrogant, no, aristocrat. Close from a distance, lovable from afar. The magic cat who was always near. Well, now you're gone, but you'll still be in the shadows, off on the side, just in the corner of our eyes. Tough guy, magic cat. Gray. Gray shadow, free spirit, who owns who? You came and went as you pleased. Small friend, our hearts miss you. Philip Burgio. Making a comment about Gray. My wife had taught him how to hunt spiders. If she saw a spider in the house, she'd go, kitty, 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 look. And she'd point. Gray would destroy the spider. So he was our spider guardian.
All right, well, thank you for sharing those. I think a lot of those pets are from before my time, although I've heard of a lot of them, or I had experienced later renditions like Smoochy Jr. And, I think we had multiple Grays throughout the years, but nice tribute to the pets there.
Absolutely.
All right. Loris, you want to go next?
Yeah, I can go next for you. And this one's titled In Memoriam and kind of follows a similar theme, I guess, though not towards pets. An empty seat litters the room. You told me you'd live forever and that you'd be home soon, but I guess it was a case of you visiting who you missed most, and you happen to miss God more than me, so now there's tears as I make this toast. Misty eyes try consoling me, but every time I hold their embrace, I feel like another weak man drowning. Fall into a depth where it's just me and despair, and we are great friends when the weather's fair, but today it's not, and I'm still left with the shock that the wind blew and you were no longer there. Your empty seat litters the room. but it's all I've left of you. And if I remove it now, then maybe I moved you too soon.
All right. Thank you for sharing.
Oh,
It was good. I like that. I can totally relate to something like that.
Indra, did you have a comment there?
Well, yeah, I just thought it was very emotional.
Yeah, definitely. I like
Thank
some
you.
of those images there, like well, the whole concept of the chair being left, or even how the wind blowing and you're no longer there. There was a lot of good imagery there with that one.
It
I'm
was one of
feeling,
the first poems I wrote.
Very well done.
Tara, you had a comment?
well, I think they were both beautiful poems. Feeling very emotional myself right now, and I think that you've done exactly, both of you, what poetry is designed for, right? Conveying some emotion to the reader, and so thank you.
All right,
I
Tara.
can definitely relate. So I relate to both of them because I've lost both pets and family members this year. And
Yeah.
the empty seat, I turned one of my poems into a song, and that is one of the lyrics to the songs, being an empty seat in a room.
Cool.
So it was nice, raw and nice, both of them.
Definitely. All right, Tara, would you like to share a poem with us?
Yeah. I wrote this one yesterday. I think you've seen it, but I was having fun with it. I'm doing a lot of experimentation right now, so this isn't in my normal style. So please forgive me. It's really, I think, dorky. But it's meant to use sound. I don't know if everyone knows the song Graceland from Paul Simon. It's got a cool rolling beat, sort of African rhythm to it. So this is called Graceland. Okay. Rumble, 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 tumble, tumble, rumble, rumble, rolling round, delightful sound, heavy snare, playful percussion, a single bass in 3/4 time, rumble, 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 beautiful strings slip into syncopation, singing without words. Tumble, tumble, rumble, rumble, rolling round, delightful sound. A deeper tone joins the jam, unraveling the fray, as a versatile timbre, light and airy, hops in to enrich the tale. Delightful sound, rolling round, tumble, tumble, rumble, 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 rumble. By Tara Hicks.
Yeah, Phil.
I read that one today. You had posted that, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
just did it.
That's your South African roots coming out with Graceland there.
Yes, definitely. It was a very South African influenced album, that one.
Loris?
Yeah, I quite like it. I like the repetition in there, and I think it's very playful, and it's yeah, a really, really, really good poem.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel silly, but it was fun.
Whimsy. It's yeah,
There you go.
part of the poet's playbook.
Yes, yes. Um, thank you.
I agree.
Indra, were you saying something, Indra?
Yeah, just that the repetition of the like rumbles and tumbles, you can like hear the beat and it you just kind of in your mind I feel like you can just go along with it even before she like says the words.
We were thinking if we recorded a video with my kids jumping up around in the background, just pretending it was the kids going on and on. That'd be quite funny.
That was a good one. Good experimentation. I like that.
Yeah,
Cheers.
and it was a good example too of hearing poetry, versus reading it on the page, getting to hear you talk about the rumbles and the tumbles. And it also too, one of the things we talked about, that kind of like come back around, how that, the first stanza and the final stanza sort of bring it back around with that repetition. And I like that. I always like that coming back around and sort of bringing that closure to a poem.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's do one more here. Let's do Indra, would you like to share a poem with us?
Sure. Yes. Um, this one is about sunsets, so more nature oriented, I suppose. It's a bit of a longer poem, but sunsets. As the day comes to a close, the sun morphs into a glowing golden orb. It sinks behind the puffy floating clouds, ready to disappear behind our part of the earth. When it descends, ever so slowly, it paints the sky as a breathtaking picture. Lilac, coral, lagoon blue, and so much more, all the colors melding, mixing, blending into each other, as if they are just whiffs of colored dust. The sun creates this final display almost as a farewell right before it completely vanishes. Then, all of a sudden, it is pitch black, and every being's senses become alert. Just as you can hear the creatures of the night chirping, squealing, and rustling in leaves, they can hear every move you make. All of this, the colors, the sounds, the shared alerted senses, at the end of the daylight, a gift from the sun, setting for us, although just waiting to wake another part of the world. Indra Iyer.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, young lady,
That
you have a good poetry future.
hmm
Yeah.
How old are you?
13.
Absolutely.
Well done. You got a good start.
Amazing.
Loris.
I think for somebody so young, the poetic voice is very clearly there, and the imagery of the sun doing a final show before it says goodbye, and the the senses wake up in the pitch black, and the idea that the sun's not disappearing, but it's just getting ready to appear in a different part of the world. I think
Yeah.
you've done a fantastic job there.
Thank you.
Tara.
You have a very real gift to help us see what you're describing, hear what you're describing, feel what you're describing. And just like Laura said, you play with our senses really well. And I think that's a wonderful talent. I really enjoyed that sunset. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Yes, thank you. That means a lot.
One of the things that jumped out at me was your choice of colors. I think especially for, being a younger poet, I loved how you went away from standard colors when you were describing the colors of the sunset, using things like lagoon blue. Um, I just thought that was great to get a different image rather than just saying like the reds and the oranges or the crimson sky, or like your sort of typical sunset descriptors that you often hear. So I liked how you came up with other ways to say the colors of the sunset. Mr. Lights, was that a comment or a stretch?
I completely agree. I mean, I was gonna comment completely. You beat me to the punch, to say the least. Given how my episode went with you all, um, absolutely, what caught my attention was how you put the colors at play in your poem. You definitely do have a very bright and colorful future in poetry. I look forward to see where it goes.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, and for anybody that has not yet, I hope you will check out Indra's episode. In fact, I hope you check out everybody's episode. I hope you guys are listening to You're the Poet.
No, I've heard all of your guys' episodes. Absolutely amazing work from all of you.
All right, well, before we hear some more poetry, let's take a little break with that and do some updates. We'll go reverse around the table this time. Indra, starting with you. You can tell us if you got anything new going on with poetry or what you've been up to in the poetry world or whatever. So I'll turn it over to you.
Yeah. Nothing too new. I've been writing for the school newspaper. Yeah, that's about it. I've been really wrapped up in school with midterms coming up so soon.
Fair enough. All right, Mr. Lights, how about you?
Updates would be I did end up with Loris that we have here. We ended up taking over the project of the anthology. What was formerly called Bloodlines is now called Tending the Root. And that is an anthology in the works, hopefully to be done by the end of this month, if not earliest of next year, which would be our first anthology and mine and Loris's first publishing of poetry. Of another about 9 writers, so that's something to look forward to from our end.
Cool. Tara?
That's really cool. I had was very fortunate to have 3 of my poems featured in Song Anthology 7, so I just felt like, wow, I made it.
Yep.
It was really cool. I've been, doing some live readings of those, just trying to boost sales of the book because all the proceeds, go to save the children. Um, but I've gotten to the point with the children's anthology where I've now decided what the poems are and printed them out. And I'm playing with order. Yeah, there you got your copy.
Got my copy.
Thank you, Cole. Um, I've printed them out, and I've never done this before. I have no clue what I'm doing. Indra has far more experience in this than I do. As you have published works, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do. So I was basically at the point where I want to put them all on the floor and go, this is the order, and then check up on my mom and Connell at where are you with the illustrations. And then I thought I would enter into Button Poetry's chapbook contest. So I've written something for that, but I haven't edited it yet. So I don't know if I'll get it in time. And if not, it's just there. But yeah, I'm having fun writing and experimenting mostly with different forms of poetry.
Awesome. Yeah, still looking forward to that coming out. Kind of excited about your children's book of poetry there with your mom illustrating that.
Thank you. Me too. I think it might drag a little, but I think it'll come out next year. Just don't know when.
Right. We're all busy. All right, Dreamweaver, how about you?
Well, I've fully submitted, I think 10 pieces in total for the second anthology that I'm being featured in. And due to personal things going on with my house, the release of, or the submission of my 4th book for publication has been put on hold. So I've been doing a lot more writing, experimenting with various different styles of poetry, different genres of poetry, all different themes, and also songwriting. I have a beautiful daughter that's co-wrote a duet with me, and we've put it to music. So while I'm waiting for my health and things to get back on track with the publication of the 4th book, I've just got about 2 albums worth of songs that are out there, different themes, all for positivity and that sort of thing, and inner peace. And I'm of a certain age and found the second chance in life. So my 4th book is about second chances and having a new take on life and looking at each aspect of life and putting it down in words. And as I've already mentioned before, I find inspiration from everywhere. The inspiration for the poem that I'm going to share is the weather outside and what it's done to the lovely landscape. So I'm excited for the next year, and I'm excited to. I've already commented on one of Tara's poems. I'll follow each and every one of you because you all have different styles that I didn't think I'd be interested in, like sort of hearing or reading, that sort of thing. But I'm all about the 4th book is all about expanding my current writing style and taking me out of my comfort zone. So I may be hitting one of you up for collaborations. That's also what's going in the 4th book, one more collabs.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's very cool. That's one of the things we love about the podcast is getting to hear so many different styles. I mean, you all have your own voice, like Dreamweaver said, and that kind of goes for all of our guests. Like we've had poetry in all different styles, all different forms, and it's been great. All right, Loris, what have you been up to?
Yeah, I just want to start by wishing you all the best for your health there, Dreamweaver. And I mean, I've been quite busy my end recently. I mean, outside of work, writing wise, I have drafted up a whole 2026 calendar and submitted that to the Discord that I've been building and built. And we've got a few events going there, such as Chainlink Stories, which is where it'll go around a circular motion, sort of as we are here, and each member will continue the story on from the previous member. I've also done a lot of world building for the two novels I'm working on, The Tyrant's Justice and The City Beneath the Dirt, which the second one there is starting to really take shape as far as world building goes. There's a structure there now. I've also, like I said, been working with Mr. Light, Mr. Light being the forerunner on that anthology that was mentioned in our previous one. There were some hitches and bumps in the road, but production's regained some momentum with that. So that's in the works again. And I've also been drafting my own set of 15 to 25 poems that are almost another kind of arc of their own to go into a small chapbook just to release just a little bit after the anthology comes out. That's a few different little projects I'm working on. I've delayed the open mic and main events of the Discord until after Christmas and the New Year because everybody just has so much going on. Myself, no, certainly I have, and expect that to resume in January. We're still going ahead with our reading club, which is, as I said before, the title is Nicholas Sent North, which is not a title I've read before, but I'm finding it quite interesting. It was submitted by one of our members, Ivy, who is also a very talented writer, and hopefully someone we can get on board maybe for a future poetry anthology there, a part of Tending the Roots. But yeah, other than that, it literally just work. The coffee shop is keeping me very busy this time of year. So,
And real quick, what is the name of the Discord?
the Discord is titled The Word Forge, and I'll have a link in various of my bios. That's Thread and Facebook, Instagram. I'll be adding the link to the channel to the Discord server into my bio, so it'll be there for people to find, and feel free to come in and explore. It's open, like I say, from the bedroom blogger all the way through to the prophetic poet, so, and everyone in between. So
Very cool. And we'll definitely share a link here too. And this goes for everybody. If you've got links and things you would like us to share for this episode, just shoot me an email and we'll do that because I know we'll share some of these. If you got book deals or, even like your social medias, anything that you would like to share. Mr. Lights, were you going to comment something there? Or I didn't know if you
No. I mean,
Okay.
most of his news is pretty much our
Okay.
news as well.
Okay.
Loris has built up that Discord. It's a wonderful community. And it's pretty much also our home base for any future projects that we will build for the anthology, hoping that this won't be our only one. Hopefully there's a volume 2 and include new writers.
Okay. All right, Phil, what have you been up to?
Let me first say I'm really impressed that you two guys are working together across the pond, not just across the pond, but way across the pond from Los Angeles to, I mean, really, it's interesting. And the miracle of modern electronics. It's cool that poets from that far of a distance can be working together on something that cool. As far as my poetry thing, I have 2 poems published in the Wheel Song Anthology 7. I was pleased to get that in there. Working on our book. Actually, I'm working on the book by goading Matthew into like, what you doing now? How far is it going? Like he's moving along. We'll have it published pretty soon. That's about it. And cooking and just chilling and writing little haikus for the breweries that I go to and things like that.
Are they still putting them up on the walls?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, last time I was at the one, I saw a second one of his haiku posted up.
I wrote a third one, but I sent it like a Christmas greeting to Chad.
All right. Well, as far as me, I've just been busy with life like everybody. Trying to do some writing, but finding it hard to find time to squeeze, or I should say make time for writing. Like I thought today I would get a new poem out, but I was too busy doing stuff around the house. Phil mentioned our book. We are still working on our collaborative book of poetry, which features the poetry that we shared here in our first 50 episodes of You're the Poet. I think I finally have all the poems inserted into the manuscript. I'm just finishing up some details with that, and then got to get my cover designed. And we're shooting for the end of the year, but if not, it'll be early next year that'll be out. So we'll see. But excited about that, and just excited about the podcast and seeing not only the podcast of You're the Poet grow, but the community as well. It's been great getting to know everybody and just building that community. I know our You're the Poet community page is over 600 members now. And so hopefully we can get some of those people on the podcast and continue to build, the face to face, getting you guys on here. And we're always looking for new little things to do with it to kind of build the community and whatnot. All right. So with that, we'll get back into some poetry. I'm going to kick off this second half. This poem I'm going to share is part of my Zor Acres collection, which is just a series of poems that I've written that have to do with the old homestead here. And this one, with Christmas right around the corner, I thought this would be fitting. So this is called The Big Spruce. And this poem is just a ballad telling the story about this giant spruce tree that grows out right at the end of our driveway, right by the road. And growing up, it's always just kind of been this beacon to our house. Like you can always tell if you see the house in the distance because there's this giant spruce tree that sort of leads the way. And it's a little extra special this year because that spruce tree, my parents moved here in 1975 is when they moved out here from Cleveland. They moved down and to this area, and their very first Christmas here, the spruce tree was their Christmas tree. So I think Phil said it was 1975. The Christmas tree from 1975. It's 50 years now. This Christmas will be 50 years. That tree's still out front and doing well. So this was a tribute to that poem from my childhood memory. It's called The Big Spruce. Tall it rose and taller still as year by year went by, and as a child I swore it went clear up into the sky. Down by the road it marked the way, a beacon to our home, an icon of Zor Acres that's worthy of a poem. My parents planted it themselves when Christmas time was through, and from a little sapling tree this spruce just grew and grew. 30 feet and maybe more, the tree stands tall and strong, despite the trimmings and cut top from branches grown too long. It's shared a life with bugs and birds and rabbits now and then, and even has a mulberry that's growing deep within. Who knows how long that tree will last or how tall it will grow, but I will always look for it when towards my home I go. Matthew Burgio.
That tree would have been taller, but a few years back, Hurricane Ike came through and took about 20 feet off of it. And it still survived, still looking good. And as far as the mulberry tree, I call them Philemon and Baucis. It's a Greek myth that two older people, took in one of the gods, gave him shelter, and he turned them into trees. So they would always be together.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, and the tree people, because it grows near the power lines, they're always coming by and cutting branches and things to keep it away from the power lines, which is horrible, but probably necessary.
But it was, one day I saw it hit the wire and sparks. I thought it was so cool.
Scary, you mean? Oh my gosh, what an evocative poem, Matt. That's beautiful. Sounds like a majestic spruce.
Yeah,
it is. Well, thank you.
Can I ask, you said it was the first Christmas tree in 1975, so it was planted after it was used as a Christmas tree?
Yeah, we had it in the house, and it was bald and everything.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
we had it in the house and decorated it. And then right after Christmas, I planted it. So
That's so romantic. That's
yeah,
lovely.
we were.
Aw.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful homage to a beautiful history of a tree, and I especially like the naming of the mulberry inside. I think that's yeah.
They're intertwined. So
Yeah, it's really is. There's a good history there, and the poem just flows very well. The rhyming scheme works very well for it as well.
Thank you. All right. Well, from here, Mr. Lights, would you like to share a poem with us?
I'd be happy to. I will be sharing a poem from the upcoming anthology, Tending the Roots. This poem is called Weak, They Said. Weak, they said. Weak. Forgetting the help I seek, they called me weak. Weak. Frail is what I call the belief you can physically maintain the very being of your mind. What is stillness for parents that only know war? What is silence for a man who loves the sound of music, wind, the crackling of firewood? What is wrath for a man who doesn't understand grief? You call upon a doctor when your body gives you no rest. You call upon a painter when you don't like what you see. You call upon an artisan to make something be. You call upon a God when you have no answer. Who do you call for me? Suddenly the conversation is made of tungsten, and my head is made of flesh and bone. What do you say when I say I'm done? To be surrounded by my friends, but can't find myself as one. So yes, forgive me. I call upon the artisan of the mind, the doctor of the soul, the painter of inner landscapes, so I may be strong when your war is finally over, and the peace is too still, silence is too loud, and your wrath has nowhere else to go. For when you inevitably feel weak, Mr. Lights.
Wow. Thank you.
Good one. Good one.
Loris.
Thank you, thank you.
That line just gives me goosebumps, dear. What is wrath to a man that does not know grief? Just simply sublime, and it's just another great poem that I've come to expect from a friend like Mr. Lights. Honestly, it's I cannot wait for us to get this anthology out with the rest of you. What an absolutely sublime poem from front to start there, and the way it spins to being the painter, being the artisan, and yeah, absolutely marvelously done, my friend.
I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you.
I got a question. How did you two get together for your anthology?
That
It,
is,
yeah,
you want to
yeah.
go ahead, Loris.
So I was flicking through Fred a while back, as I imagine Mr. Lights probably was, and was originally a post put out by a great friend of ours, Natalie Genova, who is a talent within herself. And she was calling for 13 poets of varying styles and to put themselves forward for an anthology. And I was one of them, and Mr. Lights was another as well, with some other great people. And it snowballed into there, and we got talking quite regular, and it became just more than a collective of poetry. It become exactly that, a collective of people. And we've maintained contact from there. And Natalie is just her life has soared to new heights, and she's just become so busy, bless her, and stepped away from the project. So that's what's led to us sort of taking it forward now. And we're hoping to put a little homage in there for her, because we wouldn't have met if it wasn't for her. So
Just curious. That's interesting.
Yeah.
it was a chance encounter, I would say. But like you said, the joy of modern technology in the 21st century is people so far across the pond can link up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, back to the poem too. One of the things I like, Loris mentioned one of the lines, but maybe it's the musician in me, but I like the line, what is silence for a man who loves music? And I liked all those analogies that you made, and like Laura said, how you kind of spun and kind of came back to all of them as you kind of formed that into yourself, into your inner being. Tara.
Thank you, thank you. A little bit of behind the poem is that part is me. Like that part is the definition of me. Each one of them represents a person. Um, so what is silence for a man who loves the sound of music, wind, and crackling firewood? It's pretty much my entire childhood and me as a person. I used to make music. I love the wilderness and a good bonfire. So I appreciate that very much.
Beautiful. I think what this poem does is it smacks. Um, it it's gonna connect with a lot of people if it hasn't already. I mean, there's a lot of people that kind of are in that position where, you know, they're healing themselves and they're seeking help for their mental health. It's a big thing. There should be a big focus on it in schools and such, but it's still kind of a taboo subject and it shouldn't be. And so to have those thoughts and that taboo voiced so eloquently in your poem is gonna be very cathartic for a lot of people, I think.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think about words and emotions, and sometimes I interpret what you say as you weak as being a strength, because knowing one's weakness is strength in itself, because I have to know how to deal with things and what I've been through, and knowing how far I've come, what I've dealt with is in turn been my strength. So I hear you. I wouldn't say that it was a weak or per se would be weak. It's a very strong and meaningful poem, I think, and very well written. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning.
I really liked how there was so much like pain and emotion laced into every word. You can really like imagine what this person has gone through and how they're like strong enough to rise above that despite what others may say and turn that into like a beautiful part of them.
That's exactly the way that the poem goes. So I appreciate that. That's a really good observation.
All right, Loris.
Yeah, I think the guys have pretty much nailed on there with the emotion and the power behind it and the catharsism. And I read somewhere that emotion is the idea of energy in motion, and I believe that poetry captures that so well. And we pour a little bit of ourselves into poems every time we write them, and I think this one just captures a part of that essence very well.
Definitely, and I mean, your work is gonna be amazing in the anthology as well, and yeah, more of this to come.
All right, well, thank you. All right, well, that leaves us with one more poem. Dreamweaver, you're the poet. Show us what you've got.
It's a little bit of a long one. It's sums up at the end of a year for me, and like I said, it's a typical scene out there this time of year. It's called The Bare Bones of Winter. The year has turned its shoulder, sharp and slow, to face the bitter quadrant of the north, where everything lingering colour shrinks to show the Oscar, hidden and structure of the earth. The opulent disguise of green is shed, the heavy velvet drapery undone. Now lies the landscape darkly finely spread beneath the pale and unforgiving sun. This is the best bones of winter, when the secret architect is laid bare, and beauty finds its form, not in excess, but in line, in shadow, and in frozen air. The woods stand the charcoal etching now, where canopies was dense, every limb and twig, from trunk to highest bough, asserts its cold and clear magnificence. The oak, whose summer crown was deep and wide, reveals the gnarled intention of its climb. The silver birch, with bark of ghost-white pride, is etched with silent histories of time. So the birds' songs are in the retreat, the stillness holds resonance profound, a silent promise of chilling complete, of life drawn down and gathered underground. The wind, a sculpture, whistling through the wood, the carves and snowdrift into the ridge and spine, acknowledging the ancient, understood, and geometric beauty of design. The river, once a wild and rushing tongue, now speaks in muted crystalline repose. A skin of fragile silver ice is flung across the surface where the current flows. A whispered film where light is trapped and held, reflecting skies up in unforgiving blue. The reed stands stiffly by the frost-compelled offensive ochre, starks against the view. The stones that rested deep within the bed are sharply cleared upon among the shallow shelf. The water thinned and cold, has strictly fled to offer up to the river itself, or to where the waterfall once crashed and sprayed, and a disset of polished ice appears, in frozen drapery, brilliant displayed, a monument to suspend from the years. The gardens suffer their deep sleep undone by creeping frost that hardens the clod. The rose bush offers nothing to the sun but scarlet hips that nod from gifts from God. A fine, brave, and concentrated fire against the monotone of dun and grey. The stalks of lavender, dried and high, casting dark pencils where they catch the day. The leaves that lost their golden hue are scattered all around, crushed so sweetly beneath the boot on the ground. They tell the tale of summer, passing through the sacrifices themselves to make the field the root. The scrim of mist that rises from the lawn turns simpler spiderwebs that beaded lace, illuminated by the frigid dawn, a delicate and temporary grace. And in the human heart, the seasons call for stripping back the surface and the noise. The world slows down behind the frozen walls, and the truth resides in fewer simple joys. The hearth glows brighter when the dark descends. The lamp illuminates a narrow sphere. Warmth and welcome offered by old friends become anchors that can hold each year. The long dark hours invite the mind to pause, to scrutinize the years to count in deep, to weigh the actions, to find the primal cause, and gather lessons while the saints asleep. For nature teaches that to know one must accept the drain and the cease, that strength is found in being honest, true, and letting go to find the core of peace. So let us praise the stark and humble scene, the frosted pane, the silence of the field, the memory of that richly green and what the winter structure has revealed. For in this cold, perfect, taut and tight, a deep inheritance honest resides, the promise hidden in the bitter life, that life, though sleeping, beautiful abides. The bare bones of winter hold the seed, the rigid frame that spring will need to build, a testament to structure and to need, and frozen blueprint waiting to be filled. For the new year ahead, as God's grace, we will see this beauty in this barren space. By Dreamweaver.
All right, thank you for sharing.
It makes me want to put on a sweater.
I was really hoping you would share this poem as I saw this online, and being that winter is one of my favorite seasons, and especially with the snow, and I love the title. The title, I think, just sums it all up and what it looks like for those that experience winter here or there, wherever you experience winter in its classic form. But excellent job with that.
Yeah, I really liked that. I thought it was a great nod to the time of year. And there is some very deep imagery in there, as well as some subtle metaphors that really hit very well. The dark pencils, the velvety drapes. Oh, it was honestly very, very, very well written.
Thank you.
Absolutely lovely. I really enjoyed the little sort of, can I call them vignettes? Each time we described or heard about the wind or the river or the frost or the spider webs, there's a little story behind it. So you get this full comprehensive sense of this picture that you're painting for us. And so it makes it a very rich poem.
Thank you.
Compliments are hard for me, especially when it comes to other people's poetry. But in retrospect, I hope this makes sense. God said, "Let there be light," and he created the sun. But I'm sure he used this poem to create winter.
Wow.
That's deep. Yeah, I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really liked all of the very descriptive imagery and how it held a bit of a solemn tone, I suppose, and how in the end it wrapped it all up by still saying it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I was imagining like an animated picture of your poem as you're reading it. The images and all that were swirling in colors and back and forth I'd be like a Disney, like a Fantasia from Disney.
Frosty the Snowman. The snowman, yeah.
I also pictured something along the lines of this snowman with Alec Jones. Yes.
Yeah, definitely great imagery, and just a way to, like they've all mentioned, just a way to kind of encapsulate the entire winter scene. Like I think you gave it all to us, from the rivers, from the gardens, all of that, like those vignettes, as Tara mentioned. Just excellent job with that one. So thank you.
Thank you.
Another compliment would be like, if I'm ever blind, I would hire you as someone who would describe things for me.
Oh, that's a great compliment.
Thank you.
Great compliment.
I like writing things and visually. One of my earliest poems that I wrote about my words in my episode. I use my words to describe the things around me. I'm not much inspired. I haven't been out very much because of my health. So looking out the window and seeing how bleak it is and how I hate my garden as it is. It's just twigs in here. They're lots of I've got a very mature garden, and it's lovely when it's in bloom. But when it's just the bare trees and everything looking sorry for itself, and we drive. We have to go down some country lanes because anywhere I go, I have to go down country lanes and through the woods. So it's that's where I see the trees and all these low lines. And there is one stretch of road where all the silver birch are just all in a row, that sort of thing. They're just little white pencils, like chalk, standing up in a row. So I like to use my words. At this time of year, I just visualize, and what I visualize, I put into words, and I almost like a story. Thank you for your comments.
Yeah, very well done.
Yeah, I was just going to say that it was funny you mentioned about the country lanes and the silver birches because it's exactly what I pictured, literally to the exact letter. I mean, in the northeast here, we're very much the same sort of villages, country lanes, and very very rural, and that's exactly the concept images I had running through my head at the time. So,
thank you. Well, I'm glad that it resonated with you, and you can close your eyes and imagine it.
Oh,
I don't know if anybody follows me on Facebook, but the picture that went with it is of the bare trees and in the winter scene and that sort of thing. I used to put my pictures and used to go on Pinterest, and some people say you can't do that, that sort of thing. So now I put all my poems through the AI chat, that sort of thing, and I say, please create a picture specifically for this poem. So I know there's no other picture out there, and the one that it's lovely winter scene, that sort of thing. And but I like pairing things up visually and with words as well as pictures.
very cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you for sharing all that poetry. Hang on here for the end. I'm going to say goodbye to you guys individually right after we wrap up the episode. All right, guys, as we wrap things up, we want to let our listeners know we are grateful that you've taken the time to tune in. We hope you're enjoying the poetry shared here. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the podcast and share it with others. If you would like to support You're the Poet and what we're doing here, there are a couple of ways to help. You can find links on our website to our Buy Me a Coffee patron site, as well as our You're the Poet store, where you can buy You're the Poet merchandise and share your love of poetry with the world. Thank you for your support as we continue to grow. Please check out our website and various social media outlets to keep up to date with You're the Poet. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and our website, you'rethepoet.com. Until next time, Phil, thanks for joining us.
Anytime. Love it here.
Loris, thank you for being here again.
thank you very much.
Dreamweaver, thank you for being on.
Thank you. Merry Christmas and happy holidays, everybody.
Thank you. Tara, thank you for coming on.
It was an absolute pleasure as always. Thank you.
Mr. Lights, thank you for joining us.
The honor was all mine.
Indra and Deepa, thank you guys for being on.
Thank you for having us.
You're quite welcome. Guys, it's been a great pleasure. Have a great holiday season and the rest of the new year. And as for everybody, You're the Poet. We'll see you back in January. Thank you, guys. Goodbye.